Tell us how important this is to Google, because we've heard a lot of stories about Google and autonomous vehicles, but that's a big company. How important is this initiative to them?
It's not near-term important. It has no implications for the P&L for the next 3 to 5 years. That said, it's clearly one of the biggest bets, other bets that Google has made, and I mean that literally if you talk about Google, the core business, and then that other business called the other bets, which includes things like Google Fiber, some medical advances, investments that they're making in that space. But autonomous vehicles, or AV, is one of the biggest long-term bets, 5 to 10 years. And this company, Google, has invested in AV for the better part of 7 years, so it is important to them. We do think they're one of the 3 kind of front runners in this space. Uber is obviously one of those as well, as is Tesla, maybe Apple long term. We think Google has some core competencies to help it be one of the top 3 winners in the space, 5 to 10 years. But this Uber news, this is big news, and it's a big win for Uber.
So we're watching some vehicle right now, some video of their cars on the road, Google's. We've seen these before. How far are they away from commercializing it?
We don't have the answer to that. I'm not sure that Google has the answer to that. So I want to step back. There's 2 core competencies that we think are going to be required in order to win the autonomous vehicle game. One is real-time mapping. It seems to us that Google probably is in the pole position for this. It's hard to see anybody else that has that many number of that detailed real-time map of the world, thanks to Google Maps, thanks to the acquisition of Waze several years ago, the Israeli tech company. Google probably has the best real-time mapping information. You need that. That's one of the key things. The other one is just simple raw miles. They've done over 1.5 million miles now of driving, of AV driving, and so that Tesla is getting close to that. Uber has got some number, but it's probably nowhere close to that level. But they're going to start building that out with their own mapping technology, and they've certainly got tons, large number of miles of AV driving. So. It's going to be competitive, but Google does have at least 2 of the core competencies, and probably the 2 most important core competencies in this race.
Mark, another important piece of news this week was Uber's acquisition of Otto, O-T-T-O, which is a self-driving truck business, which was founded in part by a Google engineer. Is this Uber basically using Google people to beat them?
Well, if you're looking for really good talent in AV, one of the few places where you could find that would be Google. So to the extent that you are looking for that talent, or you want to hire away that talent, incentivize away that talent, you would go to Google. So it's a win for. It's a win for Uber. Again, we think about 3 companies here currently having pole position in this race. It's Uber, because they already have the ride-sharing service and they've got tons of miles. Increasingly, they're trying to develop their own technology, their own mapping systems. Tesla, and then Google. Of those, the company that seems to be furthest along the way towards commercializing this actually seems to be either Tesla or Uber. There's a lot of things that Google has to do. But by the way, they don't need to directly commercialize this. Whoever has that operating system, the real-time mapping and the mileage, that's the company that's going to be able to extract that tax from every car sold within 5 or 10 years.